Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Sharadam Chandramauleesham Ratnagarbha Ganeshwaram Shankaran Charshya Shringesham Tungam Lokagurun Bhaje. Shastrabdhi Paradrishvanam Sangahinam Taponidhim Bhaje Shri Bharati Tirthagurum Bhadraughadayakam Vidya Vinaya Sampannam Vitaragam Vivekinam Vande Vedanta Tattvajnam Vidhushekhara Bharatim Shrimate Shankararyaaya Dhimate Dbhuta Namostvadvaita Siddhanta Sthapanopatta. Offering my Sashtanga Pranamas to the Pada Padmas of the Ubhaya Jagadgurus. When deciding what we should achieve in our life, the Rishis have set all possible goals that we could have into 4 different buckets, namely Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha. These are commonly referred to as the 4 Purusharthas. Of these 4 Purusharthas are then again divided into 2 groups, Trivarga and Apavarga. As the Apavarga, Moksha stands alone. It is the only Purushartha that is permanent, without change, without decay, and everlasting. For that reason, out of the 4 Purusharthas, Moksha is undoubtedly the greatest Purushartha. But within the Trivarga, that is to say, within Dharma, Artha and Kama, it is Dharma that holds the greatest prominence. For Artha and Kama follow from Dharma. Anything that we may desire and the means of fulfilling that desire, both must stem from Dharma if we wish them to give us happiness. It is for that reason that Vyasa Maharshi says, Dharma Dharthascha Kamascha. Artha and Kama follow from Dharma if we wish them to give us happiness. So amongst these 3, Dharma is said to be the very foundation upon which this universe lies. Dharmo Vishwasya Jagatah Pratishtha, the Upanishad tells us. It is because this Dharma is so essential to the functioning of the world that Bhagavan himself has taken up an oath to uphold this Dharma whenever it may come under trouble. As we know in the Gita, Bhagavan has taken the pratignya, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bharata abhyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srajamyaham. Whenever dharma comes under siege, whenever adharma gains prominence, then I shall incarnate dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Time and time again, whenever dharma finds itself in trouble, I shall then incarnate and protect those who follow dharma and punish those who are contrary to dharma. That is to say, I will give them the phala of either following or not following dharma. We see that as Vishnu, Paramatma incarnates many times. In the Bhagavata Purana, about 24 avatars are enumerated. Besides the commonly known Dashavataras, other avatars such as that of the Hamsa, Rishabhadeva, Kapila, such avatars of Vishnu exist wherein Paramatma has taken form. In the end of the Chindi Saptashati, the Devi Mahatmya and Markandeya Purana, we see a list of all the avatars that Paramatma has taken as Devi, as Shakambhari, as Durga, as Kali. Then, of course, in the Shiva Purana and the other Śaiva Puranas, we see a list of avatars that Paramatma has taken as Shiva, as Hanuman, as a Bhikshu, as Bhairava, as Veerabhadra. So, we see that Paramatma takes avatara time and time again to protect this dharma. In the same vein, 12 centuries ago, when Sanatana Dharma was undergoing troubles both internally and externally, we had faiths that chipped away at the foundation of our dharma, that is to say, the belief in Vedas. Because they do not believe in the Vedas, they were called Nastikas. So we had these faiths or these philosophies chipping away at the foundations of dharma externally. Internally, we had the subsects of Sanatana Dharma, the Vaishnavas, Shaivas, Ganapatas, Sauras, Shaktas, Skandas. They were all quarreling amongst themselves, not deciding upon a unified reading of the Vedas, but rather holding on to sectarian beliefs and thereby leading to sectarian conflicts. They too were internally eroding at the strength. They were eroding the strength of our Sanatana Dharma from within. So, seeing that this was the situation of our Dharma, 12 centuries ago, Paramatma himself, Shiva himself incarnated as Bhagavatpada in Kerala in the Agrahara of Kalati on the banks of the Purna river. And in a short yet illustrious avatara, he accomplished many feats that are incomprehensible to the human mind, in the sense inconceivable by the human mind, that we can only look back upon and marvel at. So, this Bhagavatpada avatara stands alone amongst the avatars in Kali Yuga, and it is for that reason that many poets and panditas alike have paid tribute to the avatara of Bhagavatpada across their poetic works and their shastric works. We see that as the Mangalacharana of many shastric granthas, many Vedantic scholars without fail pay homage to Bhagavatpada, and of course many poets have used their poetic skill to pay tribute to the avatar of Bhagavatpada as well. So, over the next 3 days, we shall explore how these poets and scholars have paid tribute to Bhagavatpada, how they have remembered Bhagavatpada, and how the avatar of Bhagavatpada, its specialities, what this avatar achieved, how all of these are brought about, have been brought out in these shlokas. How that has happened will be the subject matter of the next 3 days. And that too, these 3 days have fallen, these 3 talks have been scheduled during the celebrations of Shankara Jayanti. Just as we celebrate the avatar of Sri Rama during Ramanavami, as we celebrate the avatar of Sri Krishna on Krishna Janmashtami, as we celebrate the avatar of Lakshmi Nrsimha on Nrisimha Jayanti, as we celebrate the avatar of Hanuman on Hanumat Jayanti, in the same way, we are celebrating the avatar of Bhagavatpada on Vaishakha Shukla Panchami, and that too, as per the dictum of the 33rd Jagadguru of the Dakshinamnaya Sringeri Sharada Peetham, Jagadguru Shri Satchidananda Shivabhinama Nrisimha Bharati Mahaswami, we as Astikas follow, we observe this Shankara Jayanti festival from Vaishakha Shukla Pratipat till Vaishakha Shukla Panchami. So the whole of India for these 5 days dedicates itself to remembering Bhagavatpada, worshipping Bhagavatpada, reading the stotras of Bhagavatpada, and paying tribute to all the upakaras that Bhagavatpada has done, and expressing our gratitude as Astikas, as followers of Sanatana Dharma, towards that great Acharya Purusha without whom Dharma would not exist today. So, there is one shloka in a text called the Yati Sarvabhaumopahara, composed by Narakanthirava Shastri, that beautifully enumerates what all Bhagavatpada has done for us. Therein he says, Yat Padambuja Chintanam Tanumatam Santana Shakhayate Bhashyam Yad Bhanitan Chirantanagavi Hayyangavenayate Yasyagnyākhila Lokamauli Valabhi Malasu Malayate Tasmai Shankara Deshikaya Namasam Sahasra Mashasmahe. Yat Padambuja Chintanam, the remembrance of whose Pada Padmas, Tanumatam Santana Shakhayate, it acts as a Kalpavriksha to all beings. It is enough to remember the Pada Padmas of Bhagavatpada, just as the Kalpavriksha grants the desires to all seekers. So too, the mere remembrance of Bhagavatpada's Pada Padmas is wish fulfilling. And then Bhashyam Yad Bhanitam Chirantanagavi Hayyangavenayate. Yad Bhanitam Bhashyam. The Bhashya given to us by Bhagavatpada acts as Chirantanagavi Hayyangavena. Chirantanago means the eternal words, that is to say the Veda Vangmaya, the Vedic literature. If the Vedic literature were to be a cow, that cow gives us milk. That milk then becomes curd. That curd becomes buttermilk. You churn the buttermilk and get out fresh butter. That fresh butter is the bhashya that Bhagavatpada has given us. This means to say that just as the butter is the essence of the milk, in the same way, the bhashya that Bhagavatpada gave us contains the essence of the Veda Vangmaya, the essence of the Upanishads. In the same way, Yasyagnya Akhila Loka Mauli Valabhi Malasu Malayate. The Agnya that Bhagavatpada gives, the commands that Bhagavatpada issues, are taken atop the head by all people, just as a flower garland would be put atop the head. This is a usage in Sanskrit wherein it means that a command is being followed not out of oppression, not out of force, not through extortion, but when a command is being followed out of sheer respect and love, that command is said to be taken atop the head as a garland. So, whatever dictums that Bhagavatpada has issued, whatever commands Bhagavatpada has given, whatever rules Bhagavatpada has set, that is all happily, respectfully, with devotion. Those commands are taken by all astikas and followed to this day. Tasmai Shankara Deshikaya, to such a Shankara Bhagavatpada, Namasam Sahasram Ashasmahe. We offer thousands upon thousands of namaskaras. This shloka has the summation of what all Bhagavatpada's avatara has done for us. We can split this lokopakara into three facets. The first, as we said, as a guru and as an incarnation of Parameshwara, Bhagavatpada remains as an upasya murti, a murti that is fit to be worshipped. Then the second is the Bhashya. The scholarly writings of Bhagavatpada have had a profound impact on the parampara of Indian philosophy, on the Vedantic parampara, on the thoughts that this parampara has had on the Adhyatma Tattva. Bhagavatpada stands as the Margadarshaka. So the scholarly writings of Bhagavatpada is the second aspect of this. The third aspect is the Agnyas that Bhagavatpada has given us. That is to say, what Bhagavatpada has left for us that transcends time. So although the avatar of Bhagavatpada has ended, the systems that Bhagavatpada put in place have stayed firm across centuries. This Dakshinamnaya Sringeri Sharada Peetham itself is testament to that. That as in the matha that Bhagavatpada left for us has remained with an unbroken Guru Parampara for 12 centuries. So the system that Bhagavatpada has put in place has come for 1200 years unfailingly, without swerving from its values, without swerving from its mission statement. We cannot see any other institution in this world that has maintained such a long existence, and that too a long existence that has always been focused on the original goal, not deviating from the original goal. This is just one example, but many other systems that Bhagavatpada put in place remain followed by astikas today, not just by kings and scholars, but even by the common man. And the common man may not know that some of his acharas, some of what he follows stems from Bhagavatpada, but it is yet again the teachings of Bhagavatpada that have seeped into what the very being of Sanatana Dharma today, that the two have become inextricable. So these commands, these systems that Bhagavatpada set in place that transcend centuries, that remain unchanged over centuries, for due to which Dharma remains to this day, that forms the third aspect of Bhagavatpada's Lokopakara. So these three topics, Bhagavatpada as an avatar of Parameshwara and as the Guru, the scholarly contribution to Bhagavatpada in the Vedanta Shastra, and the systems that Bhagavatpada set in place for all astikas. These three topics shall form the basis or the subject matter of these three topics of the three talks starting from today. So today we shall be looking at how Bhagavatpada is the avatar of Parameshwara and is the embodiment of what it means to be a guru. So in our Shastra, many qualities of what a guru should be like have been given to us. The qualities of an ideal guru have been given. Many ideal gurus have been shown to us. How does Bhagavatpada represent that Guru Tattva? And of course, how is Bhagavatpada an avatar of Shiva? Because it is not always mandated that every guru be an avatara. Of course, there are some cases where this Gurutva and Avataratva overlap. In the case of Vyasa Maharshi being the avatar of Vishnu and being a Guru Murti. In the same way, the avatar of Dattatreya, wherein he is both the avatar of the Trimurtis as well as a Guru Murti. So in some cases, the avataratva and gurutva overlap. There are of course some cases wherein there are just avatars that are not gurus. The Matsya Avatara, Kurma Avatara, Varaha Avatara, these have not gone and done Tattvopadesha to anyone, to any Shishya. But yet they are avatars of Bhagavan. In the same way, there are also gurus who do not have to be a particular avatara of any particular form of Bhagavan, but yet remain Gurumurtis and worthy of worship just because of the fact that they are the Guru Devata. So the Guru Devata is not the individual, but there is a Guru Tattva that is seen in each Guru. It is that Guru Tattva that is worshipped by us and that is worshipped through the individual. So that such Guru Devatas are also seen by us across the history of India. So both of these tattvas, both the Guru Devata as well as the tattva of Shiva, both of these are seen in Bhagavatpada. So first, if we look at Bhagavatpada as Shiva, there is yet another shloka in the Yati Sarvabhaumapahara, wherein it says, Iti Śaiva Kaurma Vachanai Pramapitam Paramatmatam Yitipater Vibhavayan Matimanka Ujjati Matam Tadadritam Shreyatepi Hetara Danal Anapta Jalpitam. This is one shloka that we find there. The purport of the shloka is that knowing that the Yatipati, Bhagavatpada, the greatest among sannyasis, knowing that Bhagavatpada is Paramatma, is Paramashiva, through the words of Śaiva Kaurma Vachanaihi, through the words of the Śaiva Puranas and the Kurma Purana, knowing that Bhagavatpada is Paramatma, Matiman, anyone who is intelligent, who has discrimination, Kaha tad adritam matam kaha ujjati, who is there that will let go of whatever Bhagavatpada has taught? And Shreyatepi hetara anapta jalpitam, who will let go of what Bhagavatpada has taught and instead will seek the words of an anapta. Apta, the word apta in Shastra means ayathartha vakta, someone who has our best interests at heart and tells us the truth and nothing but the truth. Such a person is called an apta. Bhagavatpada is an apta. So who will let go of the words of such a Bhagavatpada, knowing him to be an avatar of Paramashiva, and instead follow the words of someone who does not have our best interests at heart? So we must follow the words of Bhagavatpada, both because he is an avatar of Parameshwara and because he is an apta. Because he is a Guru, he is an apta. Because he is Shiva, he is Paramatma himself. So both of these aspects have been told in this shloka. Here though, they have given us a specific hint as to where it is told that Bhagavatpada is an avatar of Parameshwara. Generally, the way of recognizing an avatara is through the fact that if anyone does something that transcends the limits of human capability, we take them to be an avatara. For example, when Rama kills Ravana, Ravana had a boon that he could not be killed by Devatas or Rakshasas, by the Devas or the Rakshasas or Gandharvas. But he left out humans in that boon. So he can be killed by humans. But it is obvious that a normal human does not have the capability to kill an asura as powerful as Ravana. Which is why when Rama comes, we know that he is both human because he has taken form as a human. But the mere slaying of Ravana shows his capacity as superhuman. In the same way, the breaking of the Shivadhanus. All of these are acts that cannot be done by a mere human. But seeing that Rama has done that, we can understand, or the people of those days, Treta Yuga also understood that Rama is Paramatma. Besides that, just as it is not just that they have committed superhuman acts, but we find that they are referred to in our scriptures as well. Just as the Ramavatara has been mentioned in the Puranas and Mantra Shastra, so too the avatar of Bhagavatpada also finds mention in the Puranas. That is what has been alluded to in this shloka as well through the phrase Śaiva Kaurma Vachanaihi. So there is the Śaiva Puranas, the Puranas that discuss the Parami of Shiva, such as the Vayu Purana. The Vayu Purana gives us the avatar of Bhagavatpada saying, Chaturbhis sahashishyaistu Shankarovatarishyati Vyakurvan Vyasasotrartham Shruterartham Yathochitam. We find this in the Vayu Purana. Chaturbhis sahashishyaistu, with four main disciples, that is to say Padmapadacharya, Totakacharya, Sureshwaracharya and Hastamalakacharya. Chaturbhis sahashishyaistu, with these four shishyas, Shankaraha avatarishyati. Paramashiva will take avatara as Shankaracharya. What is the purpose of this avatara? Vyakurvan Vyasa Sutrartham. He will explain the true purport of the Vyasa Sutras, that is to say the Brahma Sutras penned by Krishnadvaipayana Maharshi, penned by Badarayana Maharshi. He will explain the purport of these sutras and thereby give mankind Shruterartham. He will give mankind the true meaning of the Vedas, Yathochitam, in the most befitting way. So, there are many people who have written bhashyas for the Vyasa Sutras, both in the Advaitic sense and through other philosophies also. But Yathochitam, the one that is most proper and the one that does not deviate from the intent of Vyasa, is said to be that of Shankara. The Purana has said that that is the bhashya of Bhagavatpada. So we find this mention in the Vayu Purana. In the same way, Kurma Purana also contains a lengthy description of the avatar of Bhagavatpada and what all it will achieve. The Kurma Purana says, Karishyat Yavatarani Shankaro Nilalohitaha Shrauta Smarta Pratishtartham Bhaktanam Hitakamyaya Upadekshati Tajnyanam Shishyanam Brahmasangitam Sarva Vedantasaram hi Dharman Vedanidarshanan Yetam Pretya Nishevante Yenakenopacharatah Vijitya Kalijan Doshan Yantite Paramam Padam. This is the description that the Kurma Purana has given of Bhagavatpada's avatara. Karishyat Yavatarani Shankaro Nilalohitaha. Paramatma as Shiva, Nilalohitaha. He who has one half as Nila as Shiva, the Nilakantha Shiva, Lohita, the other half is red as Devi. So that Parameshwar, that Shiva, will take avatara, one of which will be Shankara. What he will do in those avatars is Shrauta Smarta Pratishtartham. The purpose of this avatara will be to establish the Shrauta Smarta Dharmas. As we said, Bhagavatpada Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayaha. He is the embodiment of all the knowledge of the Shruti and the Smriti. So with that knowledge, he will re-establish the dharmas therein. And this is all done with Bhaktanam Hitakamyaya. To give us the Hita, to give what is truly beneficial to mankind, he will re-establish the Shruti and Smriti Margas. And then he will also teach the Vedanta Marga, Upadekshiti Tajnanam. He will do the Upadesha of the Jnana which is Brahma Sangitam to the Shishyas. The Jnana of Brahman will be given by this avatar of Paramatma to the Shishyas. And this is going to be Sarva Vedanta Saram, the essence of all the Upanishads. And along with this, he will also teach Dharmas, Dharman, Vedanidarshanan. He will not teach any random Dharma, but those which find reference in the Vedas. He will give the Vaidika Dharma to the Shishyas and the Bhaktas. He will give the Upadesha of the Vaidika Dharma. He will do Upadesha of the Vaidika Dharma to all the Shishyas. And then Upanishad does not just stop here. The Purana does not just stop here, but it gives us one more statement. Yetam pritya nishevante yena kenopacharataha. Those who do seva to this avatara through any which way, yena kena upacharataha. It could be just smarana, it could be kirtana, it could be dhyana, it could be study of those texts. Whatever seva, through one might do some form of seva to this avatara. Vijitya Kalijan Doshan, they will overcome the evils of Kali Yuga and Teyanti Paramam Padam. They will attain the highest goal that can be achieved by man. That is to say, they will attain moksha through doing seva of this Murti. So, this seva of the Murti entails doing dhyana of this Murti, studying, doing dhyana of this avatara, doing dhyana of the Shankara avatara, studying the texts that the Shankaravatara has given us, studying the Vedantic treatises that have been penned by the Shankaravatara, understanding that Tattva, living life the way that the Shankaravatara taught, and thereby the Shishyas will get moksha. So this portion of Puranas, by telling us what this Bhagavatpada Avatara has done. So first of all, Shrauta Smarta Pratishtartham. It has put the Shruti Smriti Sadachara back into line. Then it has done Upadesha of the Vedanta Tattva, and also it itself is the avatara of Shankara, who is Nilalohita of Paramashiva. So if we understand these three aspects, take those to heart and then do seva to Bhagavatpada, through these three aspects, we will then be enabled as Shishyas to get Shreyas in this life. Vijitya Kalijan Doshan, the troubles of Kali that come through Adharma will not touch such a Shishya. And in due course of time, getting Chitta Shuddhi through following the Shrauta Smarta Dharmas, then getting Jnana through the Vedanta Upadesha that Bhagavatpada has done, he will get Paramam Padam. He will attain the highest goal of moksha. So the Vayu Purana, the Kurma Purana has given us what will happen in Bhagavatpada's avatara and how we must approach Bhagavatpada's avatara in order to attain the Paramashreyas. So in this way, we see that Bhagavatpada's identity as an avatar of Parameshwara has been given to us by Vyasa in the Puranas. So now Bhagavatpada's identity as Shiva aside, Bhagavatpada's identity as a Guru. So what is it that entails a Guru, that the nature of a Guru? The Upanishad tells us, Tadvijnanartham sa gurumeva abhigachet samitpani shrotriyam brahmanishtham. A Guru must be, a proper Guru for Vedanta must be one who is Shrotriya and Brahmanishtha. Shrotriya means Shruti Sampanna, Bhagavatpada writes in the Bhashya there. One who is well versed in the Vedas and Shastras, one who has mastery over the Vedas and the Shastras. Because he should be able to guide the Shishyas in a path that has been given by the Veda and the Upanishad and the Shastras. If he does not have mastery of that Marga, he cannot in good faith guide the Shishya. And it is not enough just to have an academic understanding of the Vedas and the Shastras, but he himself must be Brahmanishtham. He himself must be established in Brahman. He must be realized. So these two aspects have been given by Veda. That is to say, he himself must be realized and he must be knowing the Vedas and the Shastras in order to guide the Shishya in the proper way. This meaning has been brought out by Bhagavatpada in the Prashnottara Ratnamalika Stotra, where Bhagavatpada raises the question, Ko Guruhu? And the reply is given as Adhigata Tattvaha Shishya-hitaya Udyata Satatam. One who is Adhigata Tattva, he himself is realized, and Shishya-hitaya Udyataha, he is ever intent in the welfare of the Shishya through by teaching the Shishya these Shastric means. So this is the nature of the Guru that we can see in Bhagavatpada. Besides this, there are many ancillary qualities that must be present in a Guru. We can see all of these in Bhagavatpada. This also has been brought out in one shloka of the Yatisarvabhaumopahara. Therein they write, Vairagyasya nidhi, Shrutasya vasatihi, Vatsalya varannidhi, Dakshanyasya viharabhuhu, Ghanatapas sarvasva manjushika, Shante keligraham, Prasuti bhavanam dantehe, Kripaya khanihi, Bhuyat Shankaradeshiko akhila gunagramaviramo mude. So may that Shankara Deshika, Shankara the Guru, Akhila Gunagramaviramaha, he is the embodiment of all the gunas that make a Deshika. So a Deshika is a Guru. Dishati iti Deshikaha. He gives us Upadesha. So he is a Deshika. He also gives us Shreyas. He gives us welfare. So the Guru is called a Deshika. So that Shankara who is the Deshika, he is the embodiment of Akhila Gunagrama Abhiramaha. He is Abhirama. He is enchanting with all these gunas that are necessary in a Deshika. What are all of these gunas? May he give us may he be mude bhavatu, may he give us happiness. What are these qualities that must be there in a Guru? The first quality that has been told in this is Vairagyasya nidhihi. Bhagavatpada is the reservoir of Vairagya. He does not need anything, he does not want anything. This first embodiment, this first quality of a Guru is that he should not want anything for himself. The relationship that the Guru should have with the Shishya should not be something that the Guru seeks to profit from. So first of all, Vairagyasya nidhihi, he should not want anything. Then Shrutasya vasatihi, he is the residence for all forms of learning. That is why we call him Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam. He is the residence, he is the care of address for all forms of learning. All knowledge find their residence in him. Now, one more thing should be told here. Why do we care that Bhagavatpada is an avatar of Shiva? What is the speciality of Bhagavatpada being an avatar of Shiva? It is because Jnanamichen Maheshwarat. Paramatma Shiva is praised by the Vedas as Ishanas Sarva Vidyanam. He is the master of all Vidyas. He is not just the master of all Vidyas, but all Vidyas originate from Shiva. Which is why again the Purana says, Ashtadashanam etasam vidyanam bhinnavartmanam Adikarta Shivas Sakshat Adikarta Kavis Sakshat Shulapaniriti Smritihi. So, iti Shrutihi, iti Smritihi. Both pathas are there. The Vedas say that it is Shulapani, Parameshwara himself, who is the Adikarta, the creator or the Pravartaka for all these branches of learning. Ashtadashanam etasam vidyanam. For the 18 Vidyas, the 14 Vidyas being the 4 Vedas, Vedangas, Dharmashastra, Nyaya, Itihasa, Purana. Angani, Vedaschattvaraha, Mimamsa, Nyaya Vistaraha, Dharmashastram, Puranam. These are the 14 Vidyas. If you add to these the 4 Upavedas, this gives us a total of 18 Vidyas. For all these 18 Vidyas, the progenitor is Parameshwara. So it is because he is the avatar of Parameshwara that Bhagavatpada is the Vasati, Shrutasya Vasatihi, the residence for all Jnana. Then Vatsalya Varanidhi, love for the Shishya. If that love for Shishya becomes an ocean, that is Bhagavatpada. The Anugraha that Bhagavatpada has towards the Shishyas is unparalleled. That is one more quality of the Guru. Then Dakshanyasya Vihara Bhuho, Samarthya, capability. It is not enough that the Guru be well read, well versed and compassionate, but he should be capable enough to choose the right Upadesha for the right Shishya at the right time and to do what is necessary at the right time. Then Ghana Tapassarvasya Manjushika. It is not enough that the Guru just be well read, compassionate to the Shishya and very capable, but the Guru should be tapassiddha. He should have tapas. It is only with the tapas that the Guru will have the power to bless the student. So when the Jagadguru even to this day does Ashirvada, that Ashirvada is rooted in the tapas shakti of the Jagadguru. All the Anushtana, all the Upasana, all the Dhyana, the Japa that the Guru does manifests as tapas, through which he can then bless the student. And what that tapas will do is, even the Leela Vachanas of the Guru will become guided. So even what the Guru says, even not maybe the Guru may not say it with great intent, but even sporting statements of the Guru will end up becoming capable of giving the Shishya great Shreyas if followed. So this is an effect of the Guru's tapas shakti. So that tapas must also be present in the Guru. Then Shante Keligraham. Shama means restraint of the antarindriya, restraint of the mind. The mind should not desire anything. So the control over the mind should be there. Then Prasoti Bhavanam Dantehe. He is the reservoir of Danti. Danti is Bahirindriya Nigraha. So the eyes, the ear, the mouth, the nose, the skin, all of these are Bahirindriyas that need to also be restrained. Prasoti Bhavanam Dante, and of course Kripaya Khanihi, mercy, Karuna is manifest, is the Guru. The Khani, here they are saying it is a gold mine of Karuna. So these are all the qualities of the Guru. And we can see all of these qualities present in Bhagavatpada throughout the Shankara Digvijaya. For example, Vairagyasya Nidhi, he has the utmost Vairagya. When the Kapalika came and asked for the head of Bhagavatpada, Bhagavatpada said, yes, take it. That much Vairagya Bhagavatpada had towards the body. Shrutasya Vasatihi, Bhagavatpada undertook Vadas across the whole of India with a whole host of darshanas and emerged victorious every single time. That is the extent of the learning of Bhagavatpada. Then Vatsalya Varanidhi, so much Vatsalya was there towards Totakacharya, which is why then even though Totakacharya was not very bright, through just his Guru Seva, Bhagavatpada was pleased and gave him knowledge of all the Vidyas. Then Dakshanyasya Vihara Bhuhu. Bhagavatpada is the reservoir of Dakshanya, of capability. We see this in all the avatara karyas that Bhagavatpada did. First of all, the Chaturambnaya Matha system itself, the management capability of Bhagavatpada itself is seen through the fact that the Mathas are alive to this day. That is the Dakshanya of Bhagavatpada. Ghana Tapas Sarvasva Manjushika. Bhagavatpada's tapas is seen in numerous places through the Shankara Digvijaya, wherein he prays to the river the Purna Nadi to flow from before his house for the convenience of his mother. The river listens. In Badari, he creates a hot spring there through his tapas for the sake of all his shishyas there and the yatrikas that come there and who are plagued by the cold there. So in this way, there are many places through the Digvijaya wherein Bhagavatpada, the Kanakadhara Stotra, wherein through his tapas he praises Devi, and it is his tapas shakti that allows Devi to come and give the rain of gold. So all of this is Bhagavatpada's tapas shakti. Then of course Shanti, Danti, we see all of this and Kripa also we see in the Shankara Digvijaya. So we see that Bhagavatpada is the embodiment of what it means to be a guru. There is one more aspect that we need to see here, that it is a very interesting aspect in our Shastras that the greatest gurus are also always the greatest shishyas. The greatest, those who have risen to become the Jagat Gurus have always been the consummate Shishya as well, the Shishyatva. So whatever it means to be a Shishya is also greatly seen in them. So that is seen in Bhagavatpada also. Bhagavatpada is the Jagat Guru, the greatest Guru that this world can find. But Bhagavatpada is also the greatest Shishya that we can see. If we see how Bhagavatpada behaved as a Shishya, the first attribute of a Shishya is Vinaya. A Shishya should always have that humility towards his Gurus. We see this because Bhagavatpada in all his texts, not in all, but in many texts, pays homage to his Guru. Viveka Chudamani, arguably the greatest Prakarana Grantha that Bhagavatpada wrote, starts with a salutation to his Guru. Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tam Agocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham, wherein the Guru is taken as the Paramatattva itself, the Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam. The Guru is that which is known, that is that Brahmatattva that is known through all the Upanishads. That is Bhagavatpada's bhakti towards his Guru. When Vyasa Maharshi comes in the guise of an old Brahmana and asks Bhagavatpada, I heard that you have written one sutra bhashya explaining the meanings of everything that Vyasa Maharshi wrote. So you are saying that you are such a great Pandita. Tell me the meaning of this sutra. Bhagavatpada's response in the Shankara Digvijaya is Sutrajñataham kritirasti no me Sutrartha vidbhyostu namo gurubhyaha tathapi yat pritchasi te tad bravimi. I do not have the ahankara of thinking that I know everything that Vyasa Maharshi wrote, because Vyasa Maharshi is in my Guru Parampara itself. Vyasa Maharshi is my Parapara Guru. My Guru is Govinda Bhagavatpada. My Parama Guru is Gauda Bhagavatpadacharya. My Parameshthi Guru is Shukacharya. My Parapara Guru is Vyasa Maharshi himself. So how can I have the arrogance of claiming that I know everything that he wanted to convey? Sutrajñata ahankritihi no me asti. But Sutrartha vidbhyostu namo gurubhya. My gurus know the meaning of that. Govinda Bhagavatpadacharya taught that to me. Gauda Bhagavatpadacharya taught that to him. Shukacharya learned it from Vyasa Maharshi himself. Namaskara to all of them. Even so, whatever you have asked, I shall try to explain whatever I know. That is the humility that Bhagavatpada had after writing this Brahmasutra Bhashya that is described as Vidvajjala Tapaphalam. This is the fruit of the penance of Panditas. Panditas struggle to understand the Sutra Bhashya. After writing that and teaching that, this is the humility that Bhagavatpada has while explaining it. And forget about after sannyasa. Even before sannyasa, if we look at how illustrious Bhagavatpada was as a student in the Gurukula, we see in the Shankara Digvijaya, there is one shloka. Ajane dukkha karo naguro rasau Shravanatas Sakrideva Parigrahi Saha Nipati Janasya Guru Swayam Sacha Papatha Tato Guruna Vina. So we see that in the Pathashala itself, in the Gurukula itself, Bhagavatpada Kadachidapi Guroha Dukkakaro Na Ajani. He never caused even the slightest trouble to his Adhyapaka. So he made sure that through his conduct, his Guru was never even inconvenienced ever. And then Shravanatas Sakrideva Parigrahi. He was an Ekasanthagrahi in the sense that he did not, it is poetically told here that he did not want to cause trouble to his teacher. He did not want to inconvenience his teacher even a little bit. So he did not even give his teacher the inconvenience of having to repeat something twice. The first time his teacher taught something itself, he understood it and memorized it. Sakrideva, hearing it once itself, Shravanataha Parigrahi. He understood everything, hearing it once itself. And then it is not enough to just be like this, but he took initiative himself. Sahanipati janasya guruhu. He taught his sahashishyas, his sahapatis also were taught by Bhagavatpada. So in after the patha, whatever they did not understand, he himself would teach them that again. And then he did not he was not content with just sitting doing avriti of the patha taught and remaining calmly, but such a papatha tato guruna vina, he also studied independently of what the guru was teaching, in the sense that supplementary things, there are some things that have to be studied from a guru, certain shastric topics, some sadhana topics, some yoga topics, upasana topics have to be studied from a guru. Besides that, though, the student who wishes to gain even more knowledge will read more literature based on what the guru has taught. So Bhagavatpada took that initiative and read on his own even without the teacher teaching. So this is the Shishya Lakshana, the Uttama Shishya Lakshana that Bhagavatpada showed. So we can see that in this Bhagavatpada Avatara, Bhagavatpada showed us both his Parameshwaratva as well as the fact that he is the ideal Guru and the fact that he is the ideal Shishya. And it is because of this nature that Vidyaranya Mahaswami says, to sum everything that we have discussed until now, to sum it up, Vidyaranya Mahaswami has told us in the Shankara Digvijaya, it is perhaps the most famous shloka in the Shankara Digvijaya. अज्ञानान्तर्गहनपतितान् आत्मविद्योपदेशैः त्रातुं लोकान् भवदवशिखाताप पापच्यमानान् मुक्त्वा मौनं वटविटपिनो मूलतो निस्सरन्ति शम्भोर्मूर्तिश्चरति भुवने शङ्कराचार्य रूपा. This last line, Shambhormurtischarati bhuvane, Shankaracharya Rupa. The form of Shiva walks this earth as Shankaracharya. This line has become immortal in Indian literature. It has become immortalized in the annals of Indian literature. Ajnanantar Gahana Patitan. Seeing that this world, the people of Bharatadesha have fallen into Ajnana, into a pit of Ajnana. Atma Vidyopadesha Istratum. To protect them, to uplift them by teaching the Atma Tattva. Tratum Lokan. To protect this the janas of Kali Yuga. Tratum Lokan Bhava Davashikha Tapa Papachyamanan. Davashikha is a forest fire. This world has been heated, tormented by the forest fire of samsara. So to protect them also, there was one murti of Shiva that sat below the Vatavriksha. Muktva Maunam Vatavitapinaha Mulataha. Vatavutapino Mulataha Nissaranti. So there was one murti of Shiva that was always silent and sat beneath a Vatavriksha, beneath the banyan tree. That form of Shiva, relinquishing its silence and coming out of its residence from under that banyan tree, that form of Shiva, Shambhor Murti, that Dakshinamurti, walks this earth as Shankaracharya Rupa. That walks this earth as Shankaracharya. So it is none other than Dakshinamurti himself, the Adi Guru, who came to Kali Yuga as to protect all of us as Shankaracharya, which is why we see the similarity even in the form. So the usual Dhyanamurti of Bhagavatpada that we have is Vyakhya Mudram Karasarasijaihi, holding the Vyakhya Mudra and the Pustaka in his hand. That is the usual Dhyanamurti of Bhagavatpada that we see. If you look at the Dhyanamurti of Medha Dakshinamurti, that the Dhyanamurti of Medha Dakshinamurti given in Shastra is Sphatika Rajata Varnam. He is of the white color of a Sphatika or silver. Mauktiki Maktamala Mamrita Kalasha Vidya Jnanamudra Karagrehi Dadatam. He is holding Amrita Kalasha, a Suvarna Kalasha in one hand filled with Amrita. Amrita Kalasha Vidya, a Pustaka in one hand, Jnana Mudra, Karagrehi, a Jnana Mudra and a Japamala in one hand. So, Dadatam, Uragakaktam, Chandrachodam, Trinetram, Vidhrita Vividabhusham, Dakshinamurti Mide. But if we look at what Dakshinamurti is holding in his hands, the bottom two hands are holding the Chin Mudra or displaying the Chin Mudra and holding a Pustaka. That is the exact, so basically if the top two hands of the Dakshinamurti Swarupa are removed, what remains is the Murti of Bhagavatpada. So even in the Dhyaya Murti, in the Dhyana Murti, we can see the fact that Bhagavatpada is none other than the incarnation of Paramatma. So it is because Bhagavatpada is the incarnation of Paramatma that this Ishvaropasana, the Aradhana of Ishvara always gives a sadhaka chitta shuddhi. It ensures that Ishvara's anugraha is there upon him to walk the path of dharma, and that there are no obstacles to him getting jnana. The same thing is true of getting the anugraha of the Guru. It is only with the Guru's anugraha that certain things will become understood by the Shishya. If you want facility of teaching, you need the Guru's anugraha, both in the worldly way, in the sense that obviously the Guru knows you well, teaching will happen nicely. But even in a more spiritual sense also, if the Guru's anugraha is there, whatever the Shishya reads, he will understand with facility. And one more aspect is very important here, that the bhavana towards the Guru should be that of the bhavana that you have towards Paramatma. You should not have the we should not see a difference between the Devata, mantra and the Guru. This is what Shastra is telling us. And that is why the Upanishad also tells us, Yasya deve parabhaktihi yatha deve tatha gurau tasyaite kathita hyartha prakashante mahatmanaha. Yasya deve parabhaktihi. He who has the utmost bhakti towards Paramatma, whether it be Paramatma in the form of Vishnu, Shiva, Shakti, Ganesha, whatever it be, whatever the form may be, he who has the utmost bhakti towards Paramatma, yatha deve tatha guru, and who has that same bhakti towards the Guru. So the same Paramatma bhavana towards the Guru as well. What is the benefit that such a Shishya gets, such a Mahatma, the Upanishad calls him? What does that Mahatma get? Tasya kathita hyarthaha prakashante. Everything that is taught to him will shine nicely in his mind. This is one meaning. There is one more vyakhyana that is done for this. Tasya ete akathita hyarthaha prakashante. Even those things which the Guru may not verbally teach him. We call this in Shastra as Ashruta Grantha Bodha. Things that are in texts that he has not even read will make themselves known to him. He will learn things, he will know things, he will realize things that have not been physically taught even. That is the benefit that can be gotten from having such bhakti towards the Guru. The prime example of this, of course, is Totakacharya. He had the utmost bhakti towards Bhagavatpada, just as one would have towards Ishvara. And through that, even vidyas that were not verbally taught by Bhagavatpada to him, he obtained through the grace of the Guru, through the Guru Devata. So that is why we have taken today to understand how Bhagavatpada is first the incarnation of Paramatma as Shiva, and also understood how Bhagavatpada is the perfect Guru, the ultimate Guru, the summation of all the tattva that a Guru could possibly demonstrate to us. So now that we have understood that, we must now make sure that we revere Bhagavatpada as such. We pay our namaskaras to him as astikas daily. Tomorrow, we will be looking at all that Bhagavatpada has done for the Vedanta Shastra, the contribution of Bhagavatpada to the Vedanta Shastra, what all Bhagavatpada did in the Vedantic landscape of that day, what his texts did, how his debates impacted the Vedantic landscape of that day, and how we see that impact to this day. इत्येषा वाङ्मयी पूजा श्रीमच्छङ्करपादयोरर्पिता तेन देवेशः प्रीयतां मे सदाशिवः. नमः शङ्कराय.